What is going on, everybody? We are here for the Ferrari GT3 Fixed Challenge series of track guides. This week we're at week 2 and we are at Motorland Aragon for a 15-minute race. So pretty excited for this. As always, we're using the setup that is called Challenge from the iRacing setups, and yeah, so we will crack on with this one. Thanks for everybody that's liked, shared, subscribed with the channel recently. I really appreciate it, and yeah, let's go. Alright guys, so now we're going to break down the lap. So as you're coming down into turn 1, you want to be set up on the right hand side of the circuit. You want to brake just before the 100 metres, so roughly about 103, 105 metres. So from this point here, as you come into the corner, you want to be spotting the first thing you want to spot is the white line just here. That's going to initiate the start of the turning. I go back to third gear. And then from that point, as soon as I get to that white line, I start turning. Now, I use quite a lot of curb here. So not only do I take all of this curb and the green bit, as long as you're inside this little red dot thing and you don't hit it, you're sweet. Like, you won't get the off track. It gives you enough room to really flow the car through the corner. I track the car right out. I don't really want to go right to the edge of the road, but because of the corner speed I'm carrying, the car does push quite wide anyway, so I sacrifice a little bit of entry here to get the car to rotate up the hill, but it's literally just a slight lift. Get the car up on the curb and let the car chase up the hill, and then let it run nice out wide, and then you're looking for the white line spot of the cone, start of the cone. So right at this point here. And all I do here is once I get to this point, I make sure that I'm as far to the left-hand side as possible. I lift off the throttle as I get to the last cone just here. And then it's just a quick lift to take the pressure off the front wheel so I can turn the car in, and then I pick the throttle back up again. I'm making sure that I'm starting to turn as I get to the end of the cone, and I sort of follow the white line on this triangle angle, and then from that point there, I don't want to turn before that, because if you turn before that and you clip that little red sausage curb right there, it picks the front wheels up off the car, and you end up in the fence over on the left-hand side up here. So you've got to make sure that you get as close to that curb as possible without hitting that red curb. At that point then, you want to let the car track out right wide to the end of the road. Get to the curb, then start to set yourself back up on the right-hand side. Now, this one's high speed, you don't lift, you just turn the car in, use the curb, but as soon as it comes off the curb, you want to diagonal the car from here to the little, you'll see there's one piece of catch fence with the little like yellow orangey thing in front of it that looks a little bit different. That's where you sort of angle the car. You want to brake in a nice straight line. Fifth, back to second gear. Once you get close to the curb on that diagonal angle, start to turn the car back at the corner in second. Get as close to that red sausage curb as possible. Then let the car come off. Same again here. The car's going to push a little bit wide, but you kind of want to be mid-track from this point here because it's just going to give you more options to open up the corner. Through the gears up here. Let the car start to track to the left-hand side. You're looking for the white line on the floor just here. That is your brake marker. Fourth gear, back to second gear. Stay as light as possible. I go back, you could probably stay in third. I go back to second just because I have a little bit of rear instability in the car, and I just feel that lower gear just helps the car sort of settle as I rotate it, and then I'm able to pick up the throttle a little bit earlier and drive out of the corner. I usually turn in just before the end of the curb, so about that red box just there, and then I start to turn the car at the corner in second. And it sort of cuts back. You think it's quite a wide corner, and then it sort of gets tighter on the exit. So, touch the curb, let the car run right out to the edge of the road, use all the track, up through the gears, third gear, fourth gear. Now, this is the tricky one. So, just before the 50 metre, so it's about this point here, nice big brake application, fourth gear back to third, right? Then as you continue to go down the hill, it's just before you get to that little signpost looking, I think it's like a virtual safety car board or something like that. It's usually about the second red block from the end. Back to start turning the car in. As I turn the car in, I go back to second gear. I get nice and close to this curb here. Now, I want to sacrifice a little bit of mid-corner and try and stay as far to the right-hand side as possible as I come down the hill. Then as I come down the hill, I turn the car back in to get to this point here where half the car is on the curb, right? From that point there, you should be able to pick the throttle up. Let the car's going to push a little bit wide. Let the car track right out to the edge of the road. Stay to the edge. Once you get to this curb, then you start to turn again. Now start to turn the car at the corner. You may have to lift here because as much as it seems like it's quite a big open radius corner, you'll see right now it really tightens up. So if you're carrying fourth, fifth gear, flat noise coming down the hill, you'll run out of room real quick out here. So you have to lift just to get the car to rotate a little bit. And then once you rotate it, then you're good to get back on the throttle. Let the car track down. Go to the left to get close to the curb here, and then start to diagonal the car out. I brake around the 100 metre board here. It's a nice big brake application about this angle, and I sort of diagonal the car again because I don't want to sort of encourage anybody. It doesn't really matter for the braking zone because you're still braking in a nice straight line. Back to second gear, turn in once you get to the end of the curb right here on the right hand side. Start to turn the car at the corner. Use all the curb. You're going to push wide. You want to set yourself up in the middle as much as possible, but it's not too much of an issue here because you'll be actually surprised at how much corner you can take up here. Up to third gear. You can use all the curbing. Carry all that speed across the curb. Start to set yourself up on the left-hand side of the track. Once you get to the start of the cones, that's when you brake, big brake pressure. You'll be 4th gear, back to 3rd. Now, you're going to push wide here. There's no way you can really stop it, but you want to try and get yourself to this point here. And then once you get to this point and the curb starts, back to 2nd gear on the left-hand side when the curbing is. Back to 2nd gear, turn the car in, get as close to that little bollard again as possible. Use all the curb that can. Pick that throttle up as soon as possible and try and square the corner out and get on the power because you've got a nice long straight here. Up through the gears. As you come down into turn 1, into the hairpin, sorry. At the 150 marker. So the 150 marker is just a little bit before the curb. So I use the start of the curb as my reference point. I just find it's a little bit deeper and it's a nice point you can see pretty easily. So back down all the gears. Stay as far to the right hand side as possible. Now as you turn in, you just want to turn in just before the end of the catch fence on the outside. Or you can use the second last red square. Turn the car at the corner. Same again here, get nice and close. Make sure you miss the bollard bits, obviously. And I try and lay apex here. So I don't really want to hit the curb till about this point here. And then from that point there, I try and square the car up a little bit more. I try not to go to the edge of the road on the right-hand side. I try and stay more central so I can carry more speed through this next corner. So I get nice and close. Same again, nice and close to the bollard without hitting it. Car's going to come off there quite nice at a high speed. Up through the gears, and then this last corner's flat. Set yourself up in about this position here. And then just turn the car at the corner. Go right to the inside curb. And then let the car slide out right to the edge of the road. And there you go, guys. That is your track guide walkthrough lap of the Motorland Aragon in the Ferrari GT3 Fixed. Hope this has helped you. And yeah, enjoy your racing this week, guys. And we'll see you for week 3. Thanks.